So we're going to flip the script on you now and look at the opposite side of the ball, go to the offense. Obviously, the massive news story for the Rams on the offseason was getting rid of Jared Goff, bringing in Matthew Stafford. We talked a little bit in one of our new shows about whether we thought teams were going to improve or take a decline when the new quarterbacks come in. And I just want to get your opinion on whether you think Matthew Stafford is going to improve. Obviously, Jared Goff got to 10 wins last season. Do you think Stafford can improve on that total, or are you going to give him a couple of years or maybe just one season to get his legs underneath him before you expect big numbers out of him?
I'm expecting a quick transition because this is a guy who's played for, 12 years now. He's got a lot of experience, played for a lot of head coaches, a lot of different systems, a lot of offensive lines and receivers. So a guy that, the Rams made a play for. They paid a lot. We'll say that, 2 first-round picks, Jared Goff, some other stuff. So it cost him a lot. And I expect, him to have the best career, best season of his career because this is the best coach that he's ever played for by far, the best game planner, best schemer. I think he's probably the best receivers in totality that he's ever played with. Probably the best defense that he's ever played with. He's, wasn't given much in Detroit. I think he only had, over the course of his 12 years there, I think he only had 9 or 11 games. I can't remember. It's 9 or 11 games in his entire career there with a 100-yard rusher. So, that is horrible. That's 1 per year. Mm-hmm. So not exactly what he's going to get in LA. He's got Cam Akers. He's got Darrell Henderson, a very good running game too. So, I'm expecting it to be a quick transition. I think it's going to be a career year for him. I think he's going to be an improvement over Jared Goff too. And I think it's going to kind of leak into the rest of their offense. I think the passing game is going to be more productive. I think the running game by virtue will be more productive because teams are not going to be able to stack the box as much. And so I do expect them to, pass the 10-win mark. Depending on injuries, obviously, it's going to be very variable there. But in my opinion, I'm probably, ballparking it somewhere between 11 and 13 wins, depending on how quick they can gel, how quick they can get the chemistry down, and obviously the injury situation too.
You spoke about Sean McVay there. Obviously, he's hot property at the moment in the NFL. Everyone wants someone off his coaching tree to be involved in their staff at the moment. How do you see that transition happening with Stafford? Is McVay going to tweak his system to fit the quarterback that he has, or is he going to coach Stafford up to fit in the system that he is currently running? Do you expect them to look quite similar or completely different next season?
And that's probably the most interesting question for me going into this season is, what are we going to see? Because when Sean McVay came to town 2017, the only quarterback he's known in LA has basically been Jared Goff. Like, this is a guy who's been very healthy, mind you. He's not missing games either. Like, he missed 1 game, and it was the last game of his career there when John Wolford took over when he got hurt and broke his thumb. Like, I don't know what to expect. I think it's going to be a little bit of what we've seen in 2018. You're going to see Stafford go under center a little bit and have that heavy play action game that, rolling out far left, far right, bootleg type of stuff. That wide zone running game, things like that. But at the same time, I think he's a lot more advanced when it comes to reading defenses, being able to get in a shotgun, going 5 wide. So, than Jared Goff was. And that was something that Sean McVay sort of trended more towards this, past season and things like that. So I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a mix of like 2018 when they were at their best and, this past season where they can kind of go into gun a little bit more. But one thing I do expect to change quite a bit is that I think they're just going to open up the playbook more because Stafford just has less limitations. And I think he's willing to push the ball deep, unlike any other quarterback in the NFL right now. I mean, maybe only Jameis Winston does it like he does it. So that's something that Jared Goff refused to do last year. I don't know what the reason was, just did not throw the ball deep. So I think it's going to look a little bit different, but at the same time, I think Sean McVay is going to be smart enough to know that he's got a legitimate veteran on his hands here, and he can really open up the playbook and get creative.
And with Stafford especially, is there any how can I say? Is there any sort of cause for alarm, or is there any potential issues with injuries? He has taken a bit of a beating there with the Lions the last couple of years. Now he missed half the season last season with. Not last season, 2019, I should say, with the Lions. And last season, he was carrying a pretty severe back injury there too at certain points. So is there a bit of concern there with his sort of, longevity sort of for the whole year, being able to play every game?
I don't think there is when it comes to the Rams or when it comes to most Rams fans, but for me, there definitely is. You look at the O-line, by far the weakest part of the offense, in my opinion. They didn't invest into it at all. They lost the center. They're sliding their right guard from last year, Austin Corbett, to center now. So that's a new position for him. We don't know how he's going to translate. They're starting a new right guard for the first time in his career, former third-round pick Bobby Evans, who used to play left tackle. So that's quite a big transition for him. I don't know what he's going to play like. So that's 2 question marks on the O-line. And like you said, Stafford's been a guy that's taken a lot of punishment. I mean, even last year, I think he had like 5 injuries, his wrist, his thumb, his elbow. There was multiple injuries where, he was getting knocked out of games left, right, and center. So I think it is a concern, but at the same time, you kind of made your bed. Now you got to lay in it. And so they didn't invest in that O-line. I guess they feel confident with what they're putting out there. And that's, they're just going to have to hold up as best as they can. But I do think there is some slight concern for sure.